Hello guys, welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson we're going to learn about HTML list elements. So when we talk about list elements, is basically where we're able to list several items on our web page, and we do that using the different types of list elements. Okay, so HTML provides us with three different types. So the first one we have is ordered list, and ordered lists are lists where each item in the list is numbered. And then we have unordered lists, and those are lists that are basically numbered with bullet points. Okay, and then finally we have definition lists, which are made up of a set of terms along with the definitions for each of those terms. So this is what the ordered list looks like. So for the ordered list, it is created using the OL element. So each item in the list is placed between an opening li tag and a closing li tag. So this is an example of what an ordered list looks like in HTML, and this is what is displayed on the web browser. So for unordered list, this is basically what it looks like. It is just the opposite of ordered list. So instead of numbers we have bullet points, but it's still basically the same structure. So inside your UL, to create an unordered list, you use the UL element, and then inside the UL element you use the li tag to create your list items. Now for definition list, it is created using the DL element, and the DL is used to contain the term being defined, the definition term, and the DD is used to contain the definition. We're going to get into it. So I think there's a mistake here. What we're supposed to have here is DT. Okay, DT, not DL. Just saw that now. Alright, so let's practicalize this and see what it looks like. So we're going to get into Visual Studio Code now, and the first thing I want to do on my desktop here is create a folder that I'm going to call HTML. And what I want to do now is open this folder with Visual Studio Code. So if you right click on it, you're going to see an option here that says open with code. So you can just open with code, and voila, your Visual Studio Code comes up here. Alright, so we have an empty folder here, and nothing is showing here. So we're going to create an HTML file now. So we're going to name it index.html. So the reason why we name it index is because that is just like the default go-to name for every starting point HTML. So if you're building an official website where you have different pages, yours doesn't necessarily have to be index.html. It can be home.html, and then you're going to have another page called about.html, and then you can have another page called contactus.html, and the likes of them. So we have created an HTML file. What we want to do here is so there is a shortcut to creating an HTML structure in Visual Studio Code, and what we use to achieve that is called doc. Okay, so instead of typing the doc type like we did on Notepad, you don't have to do that. What you can do is just type doc here, and the moment you press enter, you have a boilerplate structure of HTML. So I'm going to Control Z that and show you once again. So you type doc and you press enter, automatically you get an HTML structure. So you will notice that this HTML element is taking in an attribute here, and this attribute is actually a language attribute with a value of EN, which stands for English. That just helps to ensure that your content is being displayed properly in English. Okay, so all the punctuations and all the necessary things are there. So in your head tag element, we have several tags here. We have a meta tag, and what we have here is UTF-8. Okay, so this ensures that it's for character encoding. It ensures that if you're writing a different language on your web page, whatever punctuations you're putting there, maybe you're writing a language like Spanish, it ensures that those punctuations that you're putting there will be properly displayed on your web page. And then we have the meta tag. So this meta tag here is used for responsiveness. It ensures that your website is responsive to the different screen sizes that will be viewing your web page, and that's why we have viewport here, width equals to device width, and the rest of them. We'll look into that later on. So here we have the title, and then we can give it, let's call it list. Yeah, we can just name it HTML list. Okay, HTML list. And just in case you want to practice what we did in the previous lesson, we can also try that out. So you can have your H1 here. So the good thing about Visual Studio Code, it does code completion for you. So we can have our first web page, and then under this H1 you can have a paragraph. So once you type in the paragraph tag and you press enter, automatically it completes it for you, so you don't have to write it yourself. So I'm going to show you a shortcut here to generate dummy words, and it's called lorem. So if you come to your browser here and you search lorem, you're going to see what lorem is all about. Lorem ipsum. So you can see okay, lorem ipsum is a placeholder text commonly used to demonstrate the visual form of a document or a typeface without relying on meaningful content. So in a situation where you're trying to build a website, however, that particular part of the website is supposed to have some text document there, and you don't have the real content to put there, what you can use there is like a placeholder text, and lorem ipsum helps us to generate that. So we can just type lorem and the number of words we want. If you want 50 words, you put it all together and then you press enter, and automatically you get 50 words. Okay, yes. So if we save this, what I want you to do now is come to your extensions. So on the left hand side of your Visual Studio Code, you're going to see some icons. This particular one here called extensions, you're going to click on it, and I want you to download an extension called Live Server. So you're going to see an extension called Live Server by Ritwik Day. So ensure you download this. So once it has downloaded, you're going to see this icon here that says go live. So ensure you download it. So once you have downloaded it, you can close, and you can click on go live once you have installed it. So once you click on go live, what happens is this will automatically show up on the browser, and there you have the title of our web page, then we have our heading and our paragraph. Okay, just in case you want to see what the horizontal row also looks like here, we can also have that here. Okay, all right, and yeah, so if you save this, so the good thing about the live server we just downloaded is, unlike Notepad, where whenever we save, we have to go to our web page to refresh the browser and see what the changes we made to the file. In live server, as soon as we make a change to our HTML and we save it, automatically it changes also on the web browser, so we don't have to refresh anymore. So I'm just showing you how we used the headings and paragraphs, horizontal row, and just refreshing what we did in the last lesson, but that's not the content of this lesson. So we're just going to take this out and we're going to go to the content of today's lesson, which is HTML list elements. And we talked about ordered lists. So how do we create ordered lists? We create them by using the OL tag. So you can just type, first of all, let's just put H1 here, and you can just say my top 10 favorite, okay, favorite artists. Well, let's just put musicians of all time. Yeah, okay. So just to give some perspective to the list that we are creating. So when you want to create an ordered list, you put OL, okay, and then inside that OL, you want to have the content of your list described using the LI. So we can have Michael Jackson, okay, yeah, and we can have another one. Let's see, let's do Whitney Houston. You can have whatever it is you want to write. I don't know what your own favorite artist is. For some people, it will be Wizkid. For some people, it will be Davido. So whatever it is, if you're an OBO fan, put it there. Alright, so you just control save, and when you come to your website, there you go. We have our heading, and you can see our list items here. Okay, pretty straightforward. For unordered list, the only thing you need to change is just this guy. You change this guy from OL to UL, because UL is used for unordered lists. Okay, and then we save it. When you come to the page, you notice that the numbers have changed to bullet points. So that's just basically how we use ordered list and unordered list. So but for definition list is quite different. So in definition list, we're not using the li tag to create the list items. We're using definition term, and we're using definition data. So let's try it out. So first we have to put use the DL, alright, definition list, for definition list, and then we want to have a definition term. So let's use definition term of doctor, and then under the definition term, we're going to have a definition data, DD. Okay, so we can have DD and just type maybe Lauren there. Okay, and we can just do this in 3 more places. 2, 3, there we go. And then you can put let's use engineer, let's make it software engineer, and then we can have a nurse here and a lawyer here. Alright, so if we save this and go to our web page, we should see something like this. So this is a definition list. It's quite different from an ordered list or unordered list. Okay, so this is how we use list items or list elements in HTML. Thank you guys for watching. Ensure that you do practice this, because the more you practice it, the more you get a hang of it. Alright, so in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at it's either we're looking at images or links. I think we're looking at links in the next lesson. So go and prep yourself for it. See you in the next lesson, guys. Thank you for watching once again.